Welcome back. Now that wonderful noise comes from Ducati's new V4 Panigale, which Don has been riding. So what do you reckon, Don? It sounds like a V-twin down low, but a V4 high up.
It's V-twin until about halfway through. Then suddenly a whole lot of banshee happens. And then it's sort of V4 all the way through.
Tell me about the engine itself then. I mean, it's a V4, so it must have changed the nature of the bike. It must be wider and longer.
No,
bigger and heavier.
Here's the weird thing. 4 years ago, while we were still going, wow, look at 1299, Ducati were already developing this. And one of the things they liked about it is that it's a much more compact design. And this sounds weird. I mean, it's got more cylinders, but the whole entire engine, every dimension of the engine is smaller than the V-twin.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know,
doesn't make any
it's
sense.
weird.
And it must be heavier then.
It's 2.2 kilograms lighter than the V-twin.
Wow.
It's
How do they do that?
Everything about
So tell me,
the
when you
engine
sit
is
on the
better.
bike, I mean, it still looks like an angry Panigale. I mean, the Panigale is all Ducatis, V-twins. It's very narrow along the top. Is it still like that?
It's, you know what, when I sat on it, it felt like a Panigale. It's just exactly the same. It felt like a Panigale. Obviously, when you stand on the outside, I mean, it's got that Panigale sort of look. But when you kind of compare it to its predecessor, that's when you see everything's a bit different. I mean, it's got those sort of flared nostrils and kind of looks beefier.
And it looks like it's got a bit like a double fairing.
It's got a two-layered fairing. They didn't quite explain exactly how that works, but apparently it does something good.
Well done,
And you look at the way the fairing kind of molds into the tank. It's just, it's lovely.
So, look, the V-twin was always about, I mean, you've raced them, I've had a go. It's just delicious instant urge from low down and a respectable rush of power. I mean, are we still talking about the same feel?
We are. I mean, remember, this bike is an 1103cc, not 1,000. They're going to release 1,000 later in the year for World Superbikes next year. But you know what? It's sort of weird. It's got tons of power everywhere. I mean, right from low down, you can open the throttle. In fact, many of the test rider, the Ducati test rider who was showing us around, really good rider, he was saying he uses third gear for a lot of those corners when we would just naturally use second. He said third is better because it's just a bit easier to get out of the corner and you get the same sort of drive. But it's sort of different to the V-twin. I mean, the V-twin kind of, you open the throttle, it's got lots of torque and everything, but it kind of hits you hard. Where this is lots of torque, but a little bit more usable,
subtle,
a bit more subtle, yeah. Okay, it's got wheelie control, obviously. I mean, it's got all the electronics of its predecessors, just much better, upgraded, everything like that.
Tell me some actual numbers then. What horsepower are we looking at for the base one?
214 horsepower. Which is a lot.
It's a lot.
Well, that's 14, 15 horsepower more than any of the others are sticking out, isn't it?
This is the thing. It's 214 horsepower, 195 kilograms wet weights. Now, remember just a little while ago, we all went, wow, look at that. We were making the same horsepower as weight, a 1-to-1 power-to-weight ratio.
Amazing.
This thing is a power-to-weight ratio of 1.1. It makes 10% more power than it weighs.
That's amazing.
And you know what?
Actually, you know, Don, just as an aside, if you go, what's the super powerful one is like 168 kilowatts.
Yeah, the Speciale, it's 226 horsepower.
Handling, I mean, that's one of Ducati's fortes, that still hasn't been compromised in any way.
It's slightly better, actually. I mean, everything's just been sort of optimized. Turning in is much the same as the V-twin Panigale. I mean, it was really good anyway. But the way it sort of handles the middle of the corner. I mean, you watch MotoGP riders, the way they apex corners, and they just clip the curb so beautifully every time. You sort of think, wow, how do they do that? Because, you know, when we apex, when we get within a meter,
yeah,
we're
as
like,
long as we're close somewhere,
sort of over there. But I mean, I just found with this thing, and this is now where Valencia comes in, because it's got all those tight corners that just seem to go on forever. And yet you're turning in and, oh, look, at apex. Oh, here it is. Oh, that's nice.
So in a way, we're talking about a kind of accuracy. You're able to stick it where you want it every time.
This is standard suspension. It's got that Öhlins, I think it's called EC2, electronic sort of suspension. And yeah, that middle corner is just so accurate. And then, of course, you open the throttle and it's not just a big boom and it pushes you wide. You open it and you can still hold the line beautifully until you kind of get out of it, open the throttle, up to 14,000 RPM.
Well, I noticed on the specs they've seriously lengthened the swing arm, haven't they, really, comparatively?
Well, remember, the whole engine is smaller, so the swing arm is 67 millimeters longer.
That's
I mean,
massive.
that in engineering terms, that's like, you know. And the thing about a longer swing arm, it's just everything is better. It doesn't compromise agility at all. It just gives you so much more traction out of corners. It's remarkable.
So Ducati have done almost the impossible and improved on what was already a perfect bike and just made it better everywhere.
Everything about this bike is just.
Well, you say everything.
Brilliant.
I'm quite intrigued as well. One of the other few sort of new components I saw, it looks like Brembo have brought us, I mean, we've all been using these M50 calipers, which are stunning. I mean, absolutely stunning. But now there's a new one that, is this the first time they've used it?
Yeah, this is it. First time ever. It's called a Stylemma. I don't know where they got it. They went from M50, which is like very real, but Stylemma, bloody Italians.
So,
Yeah, and
Just a set of monoblock calipers?
It's got a whole lot more cooling going on. So not only is it better at braking, but it's more consistent the whole way through. So you just got the same feel always.
Fully adjustable suspension. Is it electronically adjustable suspension again? You can do it.
The S model. The S model's got the special Öhlins. The normal one's got the SAC suspension. We were riding the S model. You know what, I was riding, and at no point did I think to myself, I could use some adjustment. Yeah, I was feeling good, and this is me now. Normally, bikes aren't set up for, well, me. You know what I mean?
So look, you've been doing some laps on the standard. I mean, box stock, it's 200 and whatever horsepower. 214 horsepower. So did you manage to slide your leg over the proper one?
Well, they didn't have the Speciale there because, I mean, that thing cost more than Madagascar. What they did do is they had a V4S with a whole lot of performance parts on that, and Akrapovic or Akrapovic exhaust pipe on it. They had an air filter mapping, a few carbon fiber bits, but it still pushed the same 226 horsepower. We had to go on that thing. First of all, you must hear it. I mean, it sounds like a MotoGP bike. You sit on it, you rev it, you think, I am Dovizioso. I am riding. And I mean, that thing, wow. I understand now. You know, the MotoGP, they keep going on about wheelie control and how it's so important and those wings and all that. And we kind of think, come on, really? I mean, we're going down the straight on that thing. You come out of the corner, you come out of the last corner, second gear, of course, front wheel lifts. The wheelie control keeps the front wheel about that high. You keep the throttle open till the rev line. Quick shift up to third, the front wheel stays there. And at this point on any other bike, the front wheel sort of starts coming down in sort of top of third gear. Nope, still there. Fourth gear, you're still hovering the front wheel. 250 kilometers per hour down the straight, this front wheel's still there, and there's still a yellow light saying, oh, you're so lucky. Oh, you're so lucky.
That'd be quite interesting on the satellite road, wouldn't it?
Fantastic. Can we do it? Look, I mean, it sounds unbelievable, but we have to come down to earth and talk about price. What are we looking at?
Yeah, okay, so you got the base model with SAC suspension, all that. That's 280,000 Rand.
That's not bad.
I think that's not bad. Okay, look, it wasn't long ago the Japanese stuff was 280. They've dropped in price a little bit, but still.
The S model, electronic Öhlins, all that kind of stuff, 349. Now, keep in mind, I mean, this, as far as I'm concerned, is better than many of the special million Rand. I mean, I feel sorry for anyone who's bought one of those. This is better than all of those, and it's 349,000.
So you're saying so the S model of the V4 you'd think would be better than, say, Superleggera that you tested towards the end of last year. That was 800 grand.
I actually feel bad about saying
this. That was 1.3 million rand.
It was, yeah.
I feel bad about saying this, but yeah.
And the HB4 race, which is also 1.3 million.
And is not road legal.
That's true. So this is
I feel bad.
Wow.
Then you got the Speciale. That's 650,000 Rand. Or if you want magnesium wheels, 710,000 Rand.
60 grand for a set of magnesium wheels.
Apparently,
Does it really matter when you're spending $750,000?
Probably not. No, not really.
It's not a problem we're really faced with, but...
Okay.
Well, it's been an epic trick for Don, and I see, for some reason, you've got a souvenir.
Yeah.
What is that? It looks like that's the pillion cover seat or something, is it?
Yeah, the bit that goes on the back behind you here.
Hold on. I haven't picked this up before. It says crash on there.
Hey.
Don.
Crash
Yeah,
test.
Don.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you've become one of the first people to have been a bloody V4.
You crashed.
Okay. Well, it wasn't entirely my fault.
But you crashed.
I kind of a little bit hit another rider.
Was there not enough room for you, maybe? On 4 kilometres of track?
It was complicated, okay? Listen, thankfully I had a friend of mine, Simon Kwan from Hong Kong, was behind with his GoPro.
Oh, let's have a look at this then.
This
is an accident? This is an accident. Okay.
Where exactly was the other guy going? You were going into a left-hand bend. He looked like he was going into a right. What
were you trying to do? Go around the outside of him or something?
Yes.
Was he slow?
There were no lap records being set. Let's just put it that way. No,
what was he?
There was two there. I mean, look, he was very sort of nice about
Erratic.
it. Didn't quite know what to say. Yeah, I mean, a very lovely bloke. But either he kind of made a mistake and sort of sat up, or the other theory is that he kind of heard me on his outside, because I was lining him up. The next corner, that was a left. The next corner was a right. I was sort of on his outside trying to line him up for the inside, and it's possible that he
just
heard
caught
me.
A fright.
Caught a bit of a fright. And, you know,
so it looks like quite a... how badly did you dent the track then when you came off?
Yeah, there's a new bump there, but GP riders, just watch out.
Okay, so Ducati, I was about to say we're really sorry, but this is a nice little gift from the team. They
Do you
know
what?
it's not your fault.
You feel bad. I mean, I kept apologizing, and they're very polite. No, look, it's fine. Don't worry. And it's still you kind of
Yeah,
feel,
you
oh
must
man,
feel terrible.
it's not great. We're sitting at dinner that night. I'm still a bit kind of, not quite there.
But same as usual then.
Yeah, well, and the sort of head of the launch, he stands up and he says, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We just want to have a quick announcement. Sorry, we've got some awards to give away. The first one goes to a certain Donovan sitting over there, and they pick this up. This was the tailpiece of the bike that I crashed with. There it says crash test souvenir. All the Ducati people have signed it over
Isn't that
there.
nice?
This is the first bit of
bless.
V4 in South Africa. So yeah.
Look, I do want to say that this doesn't look too damaged. What about the rest of the bike?
Let's not talk about it. I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember.
Convenient, that,
Trash
isn't
then.
it?
Trash.
Yeah.
Well done,
Yeah.
lad.
Convenient loss of
Let's
memory.
just say,
there.
okay, the sort of PR people were okay. The technicians are probably less okay. You know what I mean?
So what do we reckon? This is Ducati has moved the game on again, have they?
Do you know what? I've got a great analogy for you. Do you remember 2009 S1000R BMW? And they had to make it good. It had to be good. I mean, for their first superbike in the modern era, everyone else was 160, 170 horsepower, no electronics. They came out with 200 horsepower, traction
All the
control,
electronics.
everything.
It was a proper game changer.
Yeah,
So are you
it
saying
blew
this
our
is as
minds.
much of a kind of
I
improvement?
haven't felt that way,
Since then,
since
basically.
then. And now I've ridden this, and I've got that same feeling about
Hurry up,
this bike.
Ducati, and get him in South Africa. I'm fed up of listening to him already. I want to go. And let's leave it there.
Shall we?
Yeah, we'll come back after the break with something a little less international.